The euro weakened to an almost 9-year low as debate on Greece's membership of the currency union deepens. Germany, who is leading the discussion, says it considers Greece's exit from the eurozone manageable, but warned its upcoming leaders that it still needs to stick to its bailout agreements. More details in this report.
The political situation in Greece is already causing ripples across Europe. The euro today sank to a new 9-year low as new doubts surfaced about Greece's commitment to the common currency bloc. French President François Hollande said today that countries, including Spain and Greece, paid a heavy price to stay in the euro. But at the end of the day, the decision belongs to the citizens of the country.
The Greeks are free to choose their leaders. That's what the election, which will take place at the end of January, is about. For the Greeks, it's a democracy.
His comments followed a barrage of reactions to what the German government is saying amid Greece's political uncertainty. Yesterday, a spokesman for German Chancellor Angela Merkel said the country expects Greece to uphold the terms of its international bailout agreement. Under those terms, the so-called Troika, EU, International Monetary Fund and European Central Bank, supported Greece with the promise of 240 billion euros in return for budget cuts and economic reforms. Greece's Syriza party, who are narrowly ahead in the polls, pledged to renegotiate these terms. But German Vice-Chancellor admits this is unlikely to happen, adding that the goal of the German government, the European Union and even the government in Athens itself is to keep Greece in the eurozone. There were no and there are no other plans to the contrary. That's why we can't be blackmailed and why we expect the Greece government, no matter who leads it, to abide by the agreement made with the EU. But according to a recent press report, Germany is playing down the fact that it believes a Greek exit from the eurozone is inevitable, should anti-austerity party Syriza win on January 25th. If Greece leaves the eurozone, a lot of debt would become due. That alone could bring down the value of the euro even further, affecting the whole financial system worldwide.
Greece is certainly relevant for the Eurozone because an exit of Greece would increase fears that there are other candidates. This in turn would lead to a run on banks and clients withdrawing their money. That would certainly not be something positive for the whole of the European Union.
A politician from Germany's ruling CDU party says we want Greece to stay. It would cost a lot of money for Greece to go, and it would also nullify 4 years of reforms in the country. That's why we're hoping for the elections to turn out in a way that would keep Greece on a pro-European course. Germany hopes to encourage Greek voters to elect the government that would be totally compliant with their demands. However, as the effects of Greece's political uncertainty are already playing a role in the eurozone, Germany may be forced to consider renegotiating the international bailout deal.
To discuss this issue with us via Skype is economic expert Rodney Shakespear. Now, do you think that Germany is serious about Greece's exit and that the eurozone will manage it, or is it just political manipulation?
It is threats and bullying, because Germany is intent on achieving at all costs the maintenance of the existing structure. But the existing structure increases debt, increases unemployment, and it has no long-term solution. And the cracks are now showing in Greece is a case in point. If you take, for example, the debt of Greece, it was about 125% in 2008. It's now 175% of GDP, and anything over 100% is totally unrepayable. Its unemployment rate, this is the government figure, is 25% and double that for young people. And since 2008, the economy has gone back, this is a government figure, a minimum of 25%. The situation is totally disastrous, and it is being made worse by what is, in summary, these austerity measures. And so Syriza, which is the party 3% in the lead at this moment, is coming forward and basically saying can't pay or won't pay. But behind that, of course, is the bigger issue, is there a solution? And there is a solution, and it is not being done by the European Central Bank or by the Germans.
Rodney, you say that Germany is intent on maintaining the existing structure, but what will happen if Greece does follow through an exit? What will be the state of the Eurozone if that does happen?
Well, if Greece leaves, you're going to get the precipitation of certain disastrous fluxes or torrents of activity. One of them is the build-up in derivatives. Now, most people don't know about this, but these are bets on interest rates and repayments and things like this. And the chances are high that a Greek exit will, in fact, precipitate a lot of events, which may lead not just in Europe, but to perhaps a huge downturn in the world economy, which is already toppling on the edge. That is why Syriza does not want to leave the European Union. Its position is simple, is can't pay or won't pay, and that there has to be a loss on those particular debts. But if it leaves, the consequences will be even more serious and could well precipitate change and disruption on a international and huge scale.
We're seeing that the political climate in Greece is having a ripple effect on Europe at large. Now, you're saying that if Syriza were to leave, it would cause fluxes. They're not thinking of leaving, they are thinking about negotiation. What will that do to the euro?
Well, I don't think that Germany is in a position, or that they're not going to agree to the negotiation, because if they do, then others who want to have the same sort of concessions as well. Behind all this is a failure of Europe and its structure. The idea that everything comes into balance, just cling on for a bit, all that's gone out the window. And in country after country, roughly around about 25% of the vote of the electorate is now voting for parties who reject everything about Europe, particularly its economic policy. You've got Podemos, for example, in Spain. And you've got other forces in Italy, and you've got a party in the United Kingdom. So you're really looking at a challenge to the whole structure of Europe, in particular to its idea that it is a free market which is efficient and everything can be relied on to get back into balance. The answer is no. The thing is malformed, malconstructed, it's now out of control, it's going downhill, and this is a precipitating situation.
Now, you say that there'll be a copycat effect if Germany allows Greece to exit the Eurozone, and they can't afford to do that. But are we likely to see some effect with other countries possibly wanting to exit themselves now anyway? Obviously, we're seeing that there will be a referendum. As far as Cameron's concerned, he'll bring it forward. You know, what other things can we expect to see? You
can expect to see an increase in the forces of rejection for the whole of the European Union. In country after country, there is now, the only ones who've just come in recently, not realizing what's going on in Lithuania, and with Ukraine trying to get in. What a big mistake. The EU is now trembling and could be starting to split apart. And this situation is going to accentuate the forces for change in, for example, in Spain and in the UK. I suspect that what's going to happen there, it would greatly increase the chances of a party which is opposed to Europe, that's just to say UKIP.